Gospel of John, chapter 19. So today I want to talk about one of the most powerful and pivotal moments in the Bible. This chapter may seem tragic at first glance, as it tells the story of Jesus' trial, suffering, and crucifixion. But beneath the surface is a profound story of love, redemption, and hope. It's about the depth of God's love for humanity, the immense price Jesus paid, and the enduring hope we find at the cross. As we unpack this chapter, together let's consider how its truths can reshape our lives today. And the trial of Jesus. So in the opening verses of the Gospel of John, chapter 19, Jesus stands before Pilate, the Roman governor. Pilate, under pressure, has Jesus flogged, hoping this would satisfy the crowd's demands. The soldiers mock Jesus, place a crown of thorns on his head, and dress him in a purple robe. Pilate brings Jesus out and declares, "Here is the man," emphasizing Jesus' humiliated state. However, the chief priests and officials cry out for his crucifixion. Despite Pilate's reluctance, he repeatedly finds no basis for charges against Jesus, and he ultimately gives in to the crowd's demands. Pilate even tries to avoid responsibility, symbolically washing his hands of the decision. The Jewish leaders insist, "We have no king but Caesar," highlighting their rejection of Jesus as the true king. Now think about this. This trial of Jesus demonstrates human frailty, cowardice, and compromise. Pilate's actions are a reminder that it's easier to follow the crowd than to stand for truth. Yet Jesus, though silent and seemingly powerless, embodies the strength of submission to God's will. His willingness to endure injustice for a greater purpose challenges us to stand firm in our faith, even when it's difficult or unpopular. The crucifixion of Jesus. So Jesus is forced to carry his own cross to Golgotha, also known as the place of the skull. As he is crucified between two criminals, the inscription above him reads, "Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews." And Pilate refuses to change this title despite protests from the Jewish leaders. As Jesus hangs on the cross, his physical agony is evident, but his love for humanity remains clear. In the midst of his suffering, he speaks to his mother Mary and the beloved disciple John, saying, "Woman, here is your son," and to John, "Here is your mother." Even in his dying moments, Jesus ensures the care of those he loves, showing deep compassion and fulfilling his role as the Good Shepherd. So think about that. The crucifixion is not just an act of punishment, but the ultimate act of love. Jesus is willing to endure unimaginable pain to fulfill God's plan for salvation. His care for Mary and John, even while he suffers, teaches us that love is selfless and enduring. Jesus calls us to show this kind of love to others, even when it's sacrificial or painful. Jesus' last words. As Jesus nears death, he says, "I am thirsty," fulfilling another prophecy. In response, he is offered wine vinegar on a sponge. He then utters the profound words, "It is finished." These words are not a cry of defeat, but a declaration of victory. Jesus' mission is complete. He has fulfilled every prophecy, obeyed the Father completely, and paid the price for our sin once and for all. So think about it. "It is finished" is the most triumphant statement of redemption. Jesus' death on the cross means the work of salvation is done. It is a powerful reminder that we don't need to earn God's love. It has already been given freely. We are invited to accept His grace, knowing that the victory over sin and death has been won. The piercing of Jesus' side. Because the next day was a special Sabbath, the Jewish leaders wanted to hasten the death of those crucified. Soldiers broke the legs of the other 2 men crucified with Jesus, but when they came to Jesus, he was already dead. To ensure his death, a soldier pierced his side with a spear, causing a sudden flow of blood and water. This fulfilled the prophecy from Zechariah and symbolized the purification and new life offered through Jesus' sacrifice. So let's consider this. The blood and water that flowed from Jesus' side signifies cleansing and a new life. It's a vivid illustration of how Jesus' death brings not only forgiveness, but also transformation. We are not only saved from sin, but also given new life in Christ, marked by spiritual renewal and a deeper relationship with God. The burial of Jesus. So, after Jesus' death, Joseph of Arimathea, a secret disciple of Jesus, and Nicodemus, who previously visited Jesus by night, boldly come forward to claim Jesus' body. They prepare his body for burial with spices and wrap it with linen, laying him in a new tomb in a nearby garden. This act of devotion and courage marks a significant turning point in their faith, as they publicly associate themselves with Jesus at a time of great danger. So consider, Joseph and Nicodemus' actions demonstrate that Jesus' death has the power to transform hearts and embolden faith. They move from secrecy to public devotion, risking everything to honor Jesus. This challenges us to be bold as well in our faith, willing to step out and declare our allegiance to Christ, even when it's risky or unpopular. So, as we reflect on the Gospel of John, chapter 19, we are reminded of the profound love and sacrifice of Jesus Christ. His trial, suffering, death, and burial were all part of God's perfect plan to redeem humanity. It is a story that not only tells us of the cost of sin, but also of the victory over it through Jesus' sacrificial love. Ask yourself, what does Jesus' sacrifice mean to you personally? How will it shape the way you live, love, and respond to others moving forward? The cross was not just a moment in history. It is the foundation of our faith and the wellspring of our hope. It invites us to be transformed, to live with courage, compassion, and a renewed sense of purpose. So as you leave here today, I'm going to ask you to remember that "it is finished" was not just an end, but a new beginning. Jesus completed his mission so we could begin ours, living out his love in a world that desperately needs it. So, what will you do with the life and love that he has given you? It's beautiful, isn't it? Friends, I'll be back tomorrow to discuss the Gospel of John, chapter 20. And I want to remind you, this is my favorite part of every day, the time I get to spend with you, because you are worth it. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Talk to you then. Take care, friends.